And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning in to the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together. You know that. Anyway, what I wanted to do in this hour of the program is to put out a call to all you AOL users out there. If you are a subscriber to AOL, or if you subscribe to the Fortune.com website, go to either of these places. If you go to AOL, the keyword is Fortune. And do it now while I'm talking about it. If you're near a computer, do it now. If not, I'll explain it to you, but it's much more effective if you go look. This is something we refer to on the air all the time, but it's that time of year again. And I want you to see this, so you know I'm not making this up. You've probably heard me mention this on the air, but you couldn't check on me. Well, check it now. Again, you go to AOL, and the keyword is Fortune, as in Fortune magazine. Now, there's also a Fortune.com, but you have to subscribe to that site. I believe, I'm not sure, but if you're a Fortune subscriber, there's a way you can register on the site and get in for free. Because everything that's on the site you're going to see in the magazine you paid for anyway. Okay. So, as you are heading to that site, I'm going to read to you from the article that appears with the photographs I want you to be looking at, to comment on here on the air. Okay? Here we go. This is Dayline, New York. Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina is the most powerful woman in business. According to a ranking of the 50 most powerful women by Fortune magazine released today. It is the 6th straight year that Fiorina has held the title. The magazine's reporting, though, found that many fast-track women are ambivalent about power, and that 20 of the magazine's most powerful women have left their prestigious positions during the last 5 years. Fortune editor-at-large Patty Sellers, who wrote the main article that accompanied the listing, said, "Dozens of powerful women we interviewed tell us that they don't want to be Carly Fiorina. Many don't want to run a huge company." Fortune's ranking is based on 4 criteria. I just let that last sentence hang in the air for a while, girls. There's no glass ceiling. There's no discrimination. That's not what it's all about. Chicks don't want the job. They don't want the responsibility. They don't want the power. They don't. They want men to run things. That's how it works. And these are the most powerful women. They are the ones who are saying it. Fortune's ranking is based on 4 criteria: the size and importance of the woman's business in the global economy, her clout inside her company, the arc of her career, including how quickly she has risen and where she's likely to go, and, when appropriate, her influence on mass culture and society. The other women in the magazine's top 5 are eBay CEO Meg Whitman, Avon Products Chairman and CEO Andrea Young, Xerox Chairman and CEO Ann Mulcahy, and Marjorie Magner, Chairman and CEO of the Global Consumer Group at Citigroup. There are 10 newcomers on this year's list of 50. Gail Berman, the President of Entertainment at Fox Broadcasting. Here's my favorite name on the list, Christine Poon, Worldwide Chairman of Pharmaceuticals at Johnson & Johnson. She's number 27. Anybody ever had any poon? How do you keep a straight face walking into Christine Poon's office? How do you do that? Linda Dillman, Executive Vice President and CIO, which is Chief Information Officer, Information Systems, Walmart stores. Notice how many of these women are not even the Chief Executive Officer at their own companies. Most of them have some title, but they are below a guy who runs everything. Myrtle Potter, COO and Executive Vice President, Commercial Operations, Genentech, number 29. Mary Sammons, President and CEO of Rite Aid, number 37. Jenny Ming, the President of Old Navy. Of course, Old Navy's not a company. It's a division of Gap, which is run by a guy, Paul Pressler. But Jenny Ming is the President of Old Navy, a division of the Gap. Lois Quam, CEO at United Health Group, number 43. Ursula Burns, Senior Vice President and President of Business Group Operations at Xerox, meaning somebody else is the president, and he's probably a guy. Christina Gold, President of Western Union Financial Services First Data Corporation, number 49. And Don Hudson, President of Pepsi-Cola North America, PepsiCo, number 50. Now, reading you that little blurb there about the list gave you time, if you're near a computer, to go to AOL and sign on, keyword fortune, and to get a look at some of these stunners who have these powerful positions in business. And we would link to this, except you have to have AOL to see it, or you have to be a subscriber to Fortune and go to fortune.com to see these photos. But believe me, if you have any doubt about what I've been saying, there is a natural selection, Darwinism, if you will, that ugly women go into business because guys aren't going to pay their bills. I've said this for years. The best-looking chick in here is passable. There are no hot chicks at the top. That's not discrimination. That's called natural selection. It's biological. But if you look at the most powerful women in business, and again, you go to AOL keyword fortune, and then click on the Power 50, which is the list of these 50 women. Just taking a look at number 1, Carly Fiorina. Number 2, Meg Whitman of eBay. Number 3, Andrea Young of Avon. She's the chairman and CEO. By the way, all you guys who want Asian chicks, this is one of the homeliest Asian chicks you've ever seen. She's number 3, up from number 5 last year. Is she more homely than Margaret Cho? Well, put it this way: she's not as fat as Margaret Cho. She's not a big chunk, but kind of a doggy face. Ann Mulcahy, number 4, up from number 6 last year. The chairman and CEO of Xerox. All these chicks look like they have a stick up their ass, or like somebody beat them in the face with a stick, or both. Marjorie Magner, chairman and CEO of the Global Consumer Group at Citigroup. What does that mean when you're the chairman of CEO of something that's not a company? It's just a division. It means you asked for a raise one year, and they said, we'll make you the chairman and CEO of a division. But there's a guy at the top of Citibank. Citigroup now they're calling it. Sandy Weil, a guy, he runs it. She answers to him. And she's homely. Just an opinion. Number 6, up from number 7, Karen Caton, Executive Vice President of Global Pharmaceuticals at Pfizer Corporation. Oprah Winfrey, number 7, up from number 10. Sad when Oprah Winfrey is the hottest chick in the bunch. I mean it. I mean, if I had to choose one of these chicks to spend one night with, that's as close as I'd come. Oprah. Number 8, moving down from number 4, the President and Chief Financial Officer of Pepsi, Indra Nooyi. She appears to be Indian descent. Pat Wirtz, Executive Vice President at Chevron Texaco, number 9 this year. And finally, Ann Moore, the chairman and CEO. By the way, how do you like this? Fortune magazine, which is owned by AOL Time Warner, chose the chairman and CEO of Time Incorporated, Ann Moore, as the 10th most powerful woman in business. Has anybody bothered to point out that AOL Time Warner stock is one of the worst performing stocks in America the last 5 years? I don't know why anybody who works there would be powerful, but there you go. That's your list right there. So what I'm trying to tell you here, everybody, is that the chicks on this list, not exactly bangable. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are too old to bang. Many of them waited too long to cash in their chips, and some of them have just never had it. You know what I'm saying? Never. But it just goes to prove what we've always said. You know, the chicks who go far in business had a lot of Friday and Saturday nights free when they were younger to study up for their MBAs. They had plenty of free time to work hard because men were not buying them dinners, taking them around the world on trips, paying for drinks. These chicks could not be out boozing it up. And so they used their time productively and became successful at business. Of course, how many of them are married and have kids and are happy with their personal life? Probably very few. But at least they've got gigs. But would you want to bang any of these chicks? I don't think so. Good-looking chicks do not need to be successful at business. They don't need it. A guy will take care of everything. These are chicks that no guy would pay their bills. And whether you've seen this edition of Fortune magazine or whether you've seen AOL and gone into the website of Fortune that you can go to at AOL, or whether you've gone to Fortune.com, anywhere you've gotten to see the pictures of the 50 most powerful women in business, you tell me. Is my theory wrong?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
You want to know what my ideal woman is? Okay. My ideal woman will turn into a six-pack at a sandwich after I'm done effing her.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Letitia on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to know where you get these statistics and these factors that somehow women who are more powerful in business are typically unattractive.
Well, nobody ever claimed to have statistical proof of something so subjective. You couldn't have statistical proof. All the proof you need is to look at the current edition of Fortune magazine or to go to AOL's Fortune keyword and look at the website. And there it is, right there, the pictures of these. Because you're not a guy. You'd probably have a different opinion than guys. But if you look at these women, I can't see a single one of them I'd want to bang.
Oh, okay, but that's 10 women. 10 women who are probably all older. They could have possibly been more attractive when they were younger.
There, again.
I mean, you're assuming that...
These chicks don't look like they were former hotties. None of them.
Okay, but you're still...
I'll give you an example. Sophia Loren is, 68 years old? You can tell, but the thing is, you can tell that when she was 28 years old or 18 years old, she was unbelievable. You can still tell. These chicks never looked like Sophia Loren or anything like a woman like that.
I can appreciate that. But what I'm saying is that you're assuming that a majority of women who are ambitious or want to do something with their lives...
That's why they want to do something with their lives. Because, yeah, that's right. You never see hot chicks as CEOs. You just don't see it. And that's because hot chicks have men who will do everything for them.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, nothing's necessarily true. Man bites dog occasionally. I'm sure one day the cow will jump over the moon. But you know what? Generally speaking, it is true.
How are you coming up with this, though? What? Just for your observation.
One example. These are the most powerful women in business. I'm looking at their photographs.
That doesn't mean anything. That's
if you want further evidence, you can turn on CNBC any day of the week and watch women, the few women who are interviewed, Watch what the women look like on there. The women who anchor on CNBC, some of them are really hot. The women who are being interviewed, homely.
But are those women typically married?
I don't know.
And are their husbands just as successful as they are?
Doubt it.
Please, that would be my guess.
Oh, no. On the contrary, if they are married, they probably have those house husbands, the guys who stay home and take care of everything.
And what are you basing that on?
I've read a variety of stories on these people. You know, I read all the financial publications. I read Barron's. I read the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
I read Business Week. I read Forbes. I read Fortune. I subscribe to all of them. And I read them. And I've read personality pieces on these people, and I've seen their photographs, and I've seen their house husbands' photographs, and there's a lot of that going on. The story itself in Fortune, as reproduced on AOL, which you can go look at right now, here it says, and this tells you everything you want to know, 20 of the magazine's most powerful women. They've picked 50 every year.
Right.
All right, and so let's say it was 50 different women every year, which it wasn't. That would be 250 women. Actually, it's probably about 100 women. 20 of them have left their positions and are ambivalent about holding power.
I think it would be interesting to see.
Women don't want to be in power. They want men to be in power. They want men to take care of them. Ugly women can't depend on getting
but Tom, that's
good men to take care of them, and so they have to become successful at business.
Specifically, because you happen to be a person.
Dear, I wouldn't date a woman who looks like these guys, these women. I wouldn't date a woman.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about attractive women. Attractive women date you personally.
Attractive women I've dated?
More likely to be dating you for your money.
Dear,
because of your position.
That has nothing to do with it. You know what?
But that's how you're coming.
Women, attractive women date men for their money. Of course they do, and that's why they're not on the Fortune Power 50 list. Because women who are on the Power 50 list have to find a way to make a living.
I'm 26. I think I'm pretty cute. I'm thin and cute.
Really? Are you a CEO?
Well, no, not yet.
Not yet. All right, and you have a degree in what?
I'm only 3 years out of college.
And what is your degree in?
Business.
Business. And what do you do for a living?
I work for a financial institution. I'm a VP.
You're a VP. And on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you look like?
Oh, I would say I'm an 8 or a 9.
An LA 8 or...
I don't really rate myself.
Oh, please, come on.
I'll email you my picture.
All right, email me your picture. I'd like to see.
I will. What's your email address?
Dean will give it to you after you get off the air. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
All right.
And by the way, is your plan to continue doing this or to drop out of the workforce at some point and have a baby?
Actually, I would like to continue doing this.
Really? And your husband's name is what?
Married.
Your boyfriend's name is what?
I don't have a boyfriend.
I'm shocked.
Well, I mean, that can be partially by choice.
Well, it could be, but it's probably not.
Well, I haven't met the right person yet.
Well, dear.
I mean, I've had several boyfriends in the past.
Really? Where are they now?
They're gone.
Yeah, I know.
They broke up with me or I broke up with them.
They're probably tired of waiting for you to come home from work all night long.
The Tom Leykis Show.
6:30
on 100. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
Yes, from Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. We've asked you if you have AOL to log on and go to the keyword fortune and take a look at the story on the most powerful women in business. It's called the Power 50. And their photos are in there. You tell me if you think these are hot chicks. Tracy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Good. Usually I really enjoy your show and I get a kick out of you, but this is a crazy topic. This is nuts. I mean, this is crazy for you to say that.
What is so nuts about it?
Well, I just think that, to say that all successful women...
I never use the word all.
Well, most. I mean, you're saying...
Most, generally speaking. Yes, generally speaking.
And that we all, need a guy in order to support us and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's crazy.
No, I didn't say you all need a guy. I said, and again, your hearing is apparently lacking here.
No.
What I have said is that that's what most women want.
Okay.
And most women do.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just heard the whole
And
thing
so
about-
most women, I would say, who end up in business are there because they didn't get invited to the prom. They spent a lot of nights at home. And so they decided they were going to be, instead of being the pretty girl, they're going to be the smart girl and go to school.
That's just so funny. I mean, that just completely cracks me
Yeah,
up.
but if you could see these photographs, you'd know I'm right.
Yeah, and you know what? I haven't seen the photographs. I just heard you in the car, so I haven't seen those photographs. And I'm sure, maybe those women aren't as attractive as you would like. But I mean, it's
Well, then, so what's outrageous about telling the truth? I'm amazed when you tell the truth how people get angry.
Well, I just think that it's just, I think it's just crazy because there's plenty of successful women out there that are good.
How many of them are 9s and 10s? How many?
I think there's probably quite a few, actually.
Yeah, well, then they're successful as models or actresses, but not as executives at companies.
I just find that hard.
All right, name one.
You know what? I'm sure that there's plenty of them.
Oh, dear. If you're so sure you're right, can you name one?
You know what? I can't think of one offhand, but I'm
come on. Surely you can think of one.
You know what? There's plenty of people.
How can you be so sure you're right if you can't even name one attractive woman who runs a company?
There's plenty of people that own garment manufacturing.
Really? Name one.
You know what? There's plenty of huge
Name one
out there.
Who?
There's plenty of women's retailers.
You have no idea.
No, that's absolutely not the case.
Who are they?
There's plenty. There's tons.
Can you name one?
There's women.
How do you know there are tons of them if you can't even name one?
There's women. There's plenty of CEOs that run, chain stores and department stores.
Which ones?
There's West Seal. There's Charlotte Russe. There's plenty of.
Charlotte Russe is a hot chick?
No, Charlotte Russe is a chain store, and there's plenty of CEOs that, run the company.
Who is the CEO of Charlotte Russe?
There's plenty of them. You know what? I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'm just...
You're not going to get into it? No. Dear, don't lie to me. You're not getting into it because you're ignorant. You don't know. Say, I don't know. Say it. Say, I can't name one single example. I have no evidence to back up my assertion. I am merely speaking from emotion, the way women usually do.
You know what? You know what? That's fine.
It's true, isn't it? Because you can't even name one attractive woman who runs a company.
That is absolutely, that's just ridiculous. I know plenty of them.
We have thousands of companies in America. Well, yeah, you know plenty of them, but why can't you name one?
You know what? Because I don't need to go there. I just think that's...
No, it's not that you don't need to go there. It's because you can't go where you don't know what you're talking about.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Go ahead, hang up on me, you coward. I don't want to go there. You couldn't name a single one. Not one. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Eric on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, Tom. What's going on?
Not much, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to call and say something about the lady that called earlier. She said she's on a scale of 1 to 10, she's an 8 or a 9.
Yes.
And she's a VP, but she's single and she's not married. That's a lot of crap. I know, there is no 8 or 9 woman going around single.
Well, if they're single, they're certainly not running companies. They're being taken on vacations, having dinner at expensive restaurants bought and paid for, getting clothing and cars bought for them, and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why people don't want to understand. Most of the ladies don't want to accept the fact that it is true. If you're pretty, you'll have life easy, and if you're not, you're going to have to struggle through your life,
No doubt.
I think it's plain to see, but most people don't want to accept the truth. Most people can't handle the truth.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah, well, that's all I wanted to say, man. I love your show, and keep up the good work.
Eric, thank you. It's Christy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
Pretty good, Christy.
Good. I was disagreeing with you, but oh my gosh, after listening to you, you are so right. Because I'm an attorney, and I consider myself hot, and I went to law school with a bunch of really ugly girls.
Uh-huh.
I go to the courthouse. All the women attorneys are ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And since I am hot, I went out and got myself implant breasts so I could influence the judges.
Mm-hmm.
If I want them to say yes, I go up and down. If I want them to say no, I shake them side to side. But it's true. It is. But it's better if you're good looking and successful.
Right.
It can be done.
But as you know, that
As I know.
it can be done, but it's rare.
It is so rare.
Most hot chicks just give in and let guys buy them everything.
That's true. That's true. I don't know what happened to me, but I just married some guy who is about my equal. So.
You mean he's a lawyer or he's hot?
No, he's neither. He's not.
Well, in what way is he your equal?
He makes about the same income I make.
Oh, I see.
So.
Right.
Yeah,
but you would never marry a guy who made less than you.
Exactly. No way.
Because women hate doing that. It doesn't matter. If you make $1 million a year, he has to make $1.1 million. There's no way you'd be with someone who'd make less.
No way. And if you're hot, you can get a guy who's going to make a lot of money. And these women calling in saying, oh, there's tons of successful women who are hot. Yeah, they can't name one. It is so untrue.
Yeah, well, yeah. Carmen Electra, Pamela Anderson.
Exactly.
The Miller Catfight girls. Yeah.
It's all the frumpy women sitting at home. They get all so pissed off.
But the CEO of Hewlett Packard, I don't think so.
It's so true. Well, that's all I had to say, Tom. I love your show.
Christy, thank you very much. You call me anytime.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Hit it, hit it, hit it. Quit it.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. It's Russ on the Tom Leykis Show.
How you doing, Tom?
Okay, Russ.
All right, it's good to hear. Hey, I agree with you most of the time, but today I'd have to say there is a hot lady that runs a company.
Who's that?
I'm not sure of her name exactly, but she's like the president or CEO, something like that, of Mary Kay.
Are you talking about Mary Kay herself?
No, not Mary Kay herself. It's the person.
Doesn't she run the company?
I don't know if she runs everything in the company, but she's up there on the top.
You're telling me there's a hot chick working for Mary Kay Cosmetics?
Yes, and you know what?
She doesn't wear Mary Kay Cosmetics, does she?
And you know what? Her daughter works for her, too, and her daughter is a lot hotter than the mom. The mom's like an LA 8, daughter's an LA 10.
The daughter doesn't work for the company, does she?
The lady's daughter.
She works for the company also?
Yes, same company.
Well, I'll have to look into this.
Oh, she's good.
Well, obviously the exception to the rule, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for that information, Russ. I'm going to check that out. Lisa, hello.
Hi, Tom. I'm pissed.
Why?
I'm really pissed because I think you're completely wrong.
Oh, give me examples. I'm listening.
All right. I just recently graduated college, and on my job interview searches, I met one of the presidents of Fox. Gorgeous woman.
Gorgeous.
I said LA, 9.
How many presidents does Fox have?
They've got a few, but still, she's way up there. Way up there. She's beautiful. And my dad's a doctor here in LA, and I meet his patients. They run their own companies. Recently, there was
Look, starting your own company and being the president of a company where you went to Kinko's and printed up your own business cards doesn't count. I'm talking major name companies.
Absolutely. And major name companies.
Anybody can go down to City Hall and take out a business certificate and say, I'm going to take out a DBA here. I'm going to print up some business cards. I'm going to go to mailboxes, et cetera, and get myself a post office box. It's going to be all set up.
Obviously. I'm talking about
the president of my own company.
No, I think you're completely wrong. You're talking about, I agree, back in 1960s, women of those days who, weren't married and stuff. Yeah, you could say, well, obviously there was something wrong there. But today, you're completely wrong.
Back in the 60s, you didn't have women as executives of companies.
No, but women who were not married and starting families, they were probably on the ugly side and had other issues there. But today, you're completely off. There are women
who are all these women? You can't even name the one that you met.
Yes, I can.
What's her name?
Dana Walden.
All right, she's a president at Fox. Well, my understanding was that the president of Fox was somebody named Peter Chernin.
Well, there is different, I don't know exactly what her area is, but there's more than one president of Fox. We all know that.
And Rupert Murdoch runs News Corporation.
Come on.
Owns Fox.
You know what I mean? I've met a ton of them. I've met
a ton. Then you've met one.
I recently met a woman who sold her from New York, who started this PR firm. It went huge. She sold it for a ton of money to CAA here in Los Angeles.
Again, let's repeat. Starting your own company is not the same as being the president of a major consumer products company in the United States.
I agree, but saying a blanket statement like women who, women they must be ugly.
And by the way, as I've always said on the show, there are exceptions to every rule. But this rule is generally true, and the 50 most powerful women in business are homely, and you can see them in Fortune magazine.
I think that is changing, though, and I think
well, it's not changing among the 50 most powerful women in business.
Because they're all older. It takes time. It takes, most men are ugly, too, that are up at that level.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you an example. At the Gap, Paul Pressler, who used to work for Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
There's a very dapper guy, very attractive guy. I'm not into guys, but certainly among executives, he's not a bad-looking guy. The guy runs the Gap.
Look, it takes
as an example.
For things to change. Women...
Well, again, let me repeat to you. Sophia Loren is 68 years old. 68. And you know what? You can see how hot she was, and by the way, still is. These chicks never looked like that. Not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, not 50 years ago.
Well, I think it's changing. I've met quite a few successful women.
But again,
good looking.
Where? Exxon, Mobil, Hewlett Packard, Microsoft. Where? Not at big companies.
But like I said, it takes time to change. I don't agree with you saying, which I heard you say.
No, but it's not going to change. There are women who are CEOs.
You said
but they're homely.
If you are a good-looking woman, you're going to marry a man and let him make all the money, and that is not true by any means. I think I'm a good-looking woman, and
you are the CEO of what?
I just graduated college. Call me in 10 years.
Well, we'll see if within 10 years you're still working, or if you take time off to have babies, or you have a boyfriend, or you get married, or you meet a rich, successful guy and decide to take some time off, like so many women do. Hang on a second, Lisa. Jenny, what did you want to say here?
Hello.
Hi, turn the radio off and tell Lisa what you were going to tell me.
I agree with you that most women that own companies, big-time companies, are unattractive women.
Oh, Lisa thinks it's changing.
Okay, I think there's exceptions, but just as you said, most of them. I would give at least 95% on unattractive women.
What do you think, Lisa?
I think it's both. I think it's both because, you know what, women, 40 years ago who are now running, 30 years ago, whatever, who are running these companies had it a lot harder than women do today. It was rare.
Is that why they look so old? Because they got a lot of miles on the odometer?
Yeah, well, it was rare to want to be a CEO at that time. Most women did, what you grew up. I'm going to get married.
Well, I'm looking at women who are in
Who do you know, though?
These are women in their 40s and a couple in their 50s.
Yeah, and like I said...
So you're telling me they were all hot 9s and 10s years ago.
I'm not saying
but
they were
now that they're in their 40s and 50s, that's why they look so horrible.
I'm not saying they were all hot at one time, but I'm saying for women, it wasn't as, common. Women didn't think about being CEOs. They thought about being mothers and bearing children their whole life.
But we're not talking about back then. We're talking about today.
And today, that has changed. Today,
where are the hot chicks? What company?
Look, I don't know, because I'm not going to be like that other girl who said I'm not going to tell you. I don't know, but
There we go.
Tom, notice how every woman says, I don't know. There's plenty. Well, where are they?
See, Lisa would like to believe this, but can't prove it and doesn't know what she's talking about.
Tom, I couldn't name two hot men of, CEOs that are men. I couldn't name those either.
I gave you Paul Pressler. Where were you? You see, again,
that's why.
As a 23-year-old woman, have you ever read Business Week, Wall Street Journal, Barron's, Fortune, any of those?
Yes,
no.
and I know that there are obviously more good-looking men. There are more good-looking men.
So you read business publications? That's great. So let's talk about some of the business publications you've been reading up on. What do you know about the business world? Which one of these magazines do you subscribe to currently?
Look, I'm not going to claim to know that much. I don't. I just recently...
Oh, how convenient that we lost your call at that time.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
It sounds like you got the best job of them all.
You betcha, baby.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. How'd we do on football this week? Week 4 for the NFL. Well, my God, it was good for everybody. Everybody picked the Broncos over the Lions, the Rams over the Cardinals. Gary, Brett, and I picked up a win with the Carolina Panthers over the Falcons. Dino and I scored with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Baltimore Ravens. Dino picked the Dallas Cowboys over the New York Jets, and Gary and Brett got a W from the Raiders, who beat the San Diego Chargers 34-31. That was a big comeback for the Raiders. And Eddie picked up the only loss of the week. Everybody had a perfect score except Eddie King of BetOnSports.com. The Texans, the Houston Texans, second-year expansion team, beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-20. Our pigskin picks are brought to you by BetOnSports.com. You can call them at 888-996-BETS.